Thanks, Soledad. Good morning. Happening right now in the newsroom. The night of the murder, brand new audio and videotapes released overnight. George Zimmerman, in his own words, reenacting what he says happened to Trayvon Martin. We've got breaking news coverage straight ahead. Plus this.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And we do start with this breaking news. For the first time, we're seeing video of George Zimmerman describing the play-by-play of what happened the night he shot Trayvon Martin. Overnight, his defense attorneys released several police interrogation tapes. In one of them, Zimmerman is reenacting the fight for investigators just a day after the shooting in February, showing how he says Trayvon Martin repeatedly slammed his head into the sidewalk. In one tape, you can see the back of Zimmerman's head. It's bandaged. These new tapes are shedding a lot of new light in this case, and they're fascinating to listen to and horrible at the same time. Martin Savage has been listening to these tapes, and they're incredible.
Yeah, let me take you back to where this all happened and how it came to be. First of all, these are tapes. In the first interview that you hear, the audio is coming from the night of the actual shooting. In fact, it's probably an hour or two after Trayvon Martin has been killed by George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman admits he did the shooting. What is significant is that it's in his own words, and it's so fresh and so right after the event that, you know, you put a lot of credibility into this as the investigators begin to question him. We're going to play for you a soundbite here. And what has transpired is that George Zimmerman has described how he's had the confrontation, initial contact with Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin has surprised him by jumping out of the bushes, he says. And let's pick it up with what George Zimmerman says next.
I was walking back through to where my car was, and he jumped out from the bushes, and he said, "What the is your problem, homie?" And I got my cell phone out to call 911 this time. And I said, "Hey, man, I don't have a problem." And he goes, "No, now you have a problem." And he punched me in the nose. At that point, I fell down. I tried to defend myself. He just started punching me in the face, and I started screaming for help. I couldn't see, I couldn't breathe. Then he started taking my head.
Are you still standing at this point?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I fell to the ground when he punched me the first time.
Okay.
It was dark. I didn't even see him getting ready to punch me. As soon as he punched me, I fell backwards into the grass. And then he grabbed me. He was wailing on my head, and then I started yelling help. When I started yelling for help, he grabbed my head and he started hitting my head into the... I tried to sit up and yell for help, and then he grabbed my head and started hitting it into the sidewalk. When he started doing that, I slid into the grass to try and get out from under him, and so that he would stop hitting my head into the sidewalk, and I'm still yelling for help. And I could see people looking, and some guy yells out, "I'm calling 911." And I said, help me, he's killing me." And he puts his hand on my nose and on my mouth, and he says, "You're gonna die tonight." And I don't remember much after that. I just remember I couldn't breathe, and then he still kept trying to hit my head against the pavement, or I don't know if there was a sign or what it was. So when I slid, my jacket and my shirt came up. And when he said, "You're gonna die tonight," I felt his hand go down on my side, and I thought he was going for my firearm. So I grabbed it immediately, and as he banged my head again, I just pulled out my firearm and shot him.
And as we know, Carol, that was a single shot that was fired. It was extremely close range, and it actually pierced the heart of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, killing him. We should point out here, of course, Trayvon Martin didn't survive to be able to tell his account. So this is, again, as compelling as it may be, as recent as it may be after the shooting event, is one person's side of the story.
And this person's side of the story, he's telling it to police right after he shot someone to death, so you should keep that in mind, too. The other thing, it's interesting that the defense released these tapes at this particular time when George Zimmerman's bond has been revoked, George Zimmerman's wife has been charged with perjury.
And there have been questions that have been raised about, you know, how truthful has George Zimmerman been? How accurate can we believe his storytelling? And you're right. You know, is it coincidence or is it part of a chess game here? We can't say for sure. Only his defense attorney, Mark O'Mara, can say. This evidence, though, is evidence that was gathered by the state and has to, by law, be shared with the defense team. The defense team gets some time to look at it themselves before making it public. So, in other words, the defense team can choose when to make it public. Why did they decide to do so today, so shortly before this important hearing? We don't know. But we also could say, look, they just had to release it on their own time schedule.
Well, we must ask those questions. There's more tape. George Zimmerman on the scene reenacting this. I know you're just going through it because CNN is just getting this tape in. So you're going to go do that. You're going to be back at 10 a.m. Eastern about an hour from now to show us more.
Right. And you know, this video is really, we expect to be fairly dramatic because what it is, it's George Zimmerman at the site where the shooting took place, walking authorities through. So we will see George Zimmerman saying, I was here, Trayvon Martin was there. And given all that's been said about this case, it should be pretty remarkable.
Okay, we'll let you get busy.
Yep.
Martin Savage, thanks so much.